Okay, so I'm recording this about like 30 minutes before game two tips off, but I wanted to give my predictions and just talk a bit about what game two will look like and what I'm excited for next game. But also, I didn't put out a game one recap, my fault, so I'm going to quickly go over what I saw in game one. And first of all, congrats to OKC Thunder, got it done. It was a game that I thought would be very close until obviously it wasn't. And the OKC Thunder, as they do, just lock in on defense and just went on a crazy run. J-Dub, great game. Shea, great game. Chet, great. Everyone had a great game. Lou Dort played swarming defense. They put Anthony Edwards in a box that game, and that was super cool to see. Basically everyone outside of Julius Randle, of all people, which I know he's had a great playoff run, but for him to be your leading scorer by like a lot and not get a lot of contribution from anyone else was a bit concerning. But yeah, no, great game from OKC. And then another thing to address, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 31 points. Did not shoot well from the field, but shot, how many free throws was it? 11 free throws? I am so tired of people complaining about how many free throws OKC shoots, and specific how many free throws Shai shoots. He drives to the rim a lot, and sure, does he embellish the contact a bit from time to time? Of course he does. A lot of great players throughout NBA history have. This isn't a new thing, and maybe it's not as exciting for some people, but let's not act like that's not good, smart basketball. The greats did it. Kobe did it. Dwayne Wade did it. A bunch of players have done it in NBA history. He's just the next one up. I understand if it's maybe hard to watch for some people, but this is nothing new. That's all I'm trying to say. And the great players do it. The great players find ways to force the issue on the refs, get to the line, score points in any way they can. And also, some of those were just fouls. Maybe there were maybe two or three of those calls that weren't fouls, but he made the shots anyways. So I don't know what y'all are complaining about. It's just super annoying that of everything that was taken away from that game, it was just, oh my God, Shai shoots too many free throws, this, that, and the third. I'm tired of it. Let's stop. Okay. Also, congrats to SGA on winning MVP. That's another thing. I think it was just announced. Was it today or yesterday? I don't know. Today's been long. Anyways, let's get into game two and what I'm looking for in game two. I'm very interested, and I know I just said that I don't really care about the reffing and how many calls Shai gets, but I'm very curious to see how the reffing goes this game. Now, let me explain that. So many people have been complaining about the reffing and the refs letting the Timberwolves, or not letting the Timberwolves play with a bunch of contact, and them letting the Thunder get away with fouls on the other end and really aggressive defense on the other end. So many people have complained about that, both online and some of the players. I don't think Coach Finch said anything in the post-game conference, but he has said stuff in the past about the refereeing, and it's just been a very big deal. And I'm sure the NBA and the refs have seen that. And so, at least in the past, there have been shifts in the refereeing from game one, and I know sometimes it sets a tone and sometimes it doesn't change, but there are a lot of times where there is a very drastic difference in the way the officiating goes from game to game, depending on what people are saying about the game. So I'm very curious to see if the refs don't give the Thunder the calls that they did, and specifically SGA. They don't give SGA the calls that they did in game one, in game two, and they let them play. They let the Timberwolves play a bit more physical on that end, or they just call more defensive fouls on the OKC Thunder. I don't know how it'll go, but that is just something I'm super interested in seeing. But into the actual gameplay of it all, let's get past the reffing. The Timberwolves, simply put, they need to stop turning the ball over. That's going to be the biggest thing, and I know it's very much easier said than done, but that is definitely going to be the most important thing for them. But not even this game, just throughout the entire series. Let me go back and look. How many turns did they have in game one? 17. 17 turnovers, and the OKC Thunder, they had 12. But a big thing on that, if I'm correct, I don't think the Timberwolves had any fast break points that entire game, and I think they had maybe 5 to 10 points off of turnovers, something like that. And then the OKC Thunder had just a bunch more points off of turnovers. That's kind of their thing. But if the Wolves can limit the amount of turnovers they get, which I know is going to be very hard against the OKC Thunder, that's going to be their key to success. Also, you just have to shoot better. And you got to show up. And he's prone, and I said this in my series preview, but he is kind of prone to being a bit inconsistent from the field. In this series, that can't happen. Because I'll tell you what, going into this game, I think this is a must-win for the Timberwolves. Honestly. I don't see them going down 0-2 to a team as good as the Thunder and pulling off a comeback. I just don't see it. Especially because I think if you go down 0-2 and you go back to Minnesota, those two are absolutely must-win games because you can't go down 0-3 to this team. You definitely can't go down. You can't go down 3-1. You can't go down 0-3. It's just not happening. And I do see the Thunder probably snagging a game in Minnesota if I'm being for real. So this is a must-win for the Timberwolves. Do I think they can get it done? Maybe. I'm still taking the Thunder this game. I think going into the series. What did I say? I think I said Thunder in 5 or 6 or something like that. But either way, this is a must-win for the Timberwolves. The others have to show up. Anthony Edwards, the star, has to show up. That's first of all. You can't have a stinker like you did. You have to just play better. This has to be like the only game that you don't play well in this series. Otherwise, it's over. It's over. If you have another stinker, they go in even the next 3 games. They go down 3-1 or 0-3. It's over. They go down 0-2. I think it's over. So Anthony Edwards has to show up. Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo. Basically, just everyone has to shoot better from the field, and I think they will. I think you can chalk up a lot of it to shooting variance because they shot, 29% from the 3. But this has been an ongoing thing throughout the playoffs for the Minnesota Timberwolves. As I said in my preview, again, they have not had a game where they've been just stellar on offense for an entire game. That needs to happen now more than ever. You can't go on these dry spells against the OKC Thunder, and especially you can't go on. If you do go on a dry spell, it has to just be you're not hitting shots. You can't be going on a dry spell because you're not hitting shots and you're turning the ball over because that's just a recipe for disaster. You go down big to this team, I don't think you're coming back. They don't blow leads like that. So maybe. Oh, also, I know Rudy didn't play too many minutes in game 1. He played 21. Scrap all those minutes. Take them all. He can't stay on the floor with OKC. He just can't. He's just too much of an offensive liability against a regular defensive team that if and we saw it in game 1, you put him on the floor against a generational defensive team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they swarm him, and he's got stones for hands. We know he can't catch the ball. It's not going to work out well. It's just not. So scrap all those minutes. Find someone else to play, anyone else to play. Just redistribute those minutes among your, top 7 players. Honestly, just pull in New York Knicks. Run your 7 best players, excluding Rudy Gobert. Just go with that. Because if he can't play. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, he wasn't that much of a negative in terms of plus minus, but he was definitely a net negative for his team that game. So don't play Rudy Gobert. What else? For OKC, key success, basically just have another game 1. If you can, depending on how the officiating goes, but we know their defense is going to be great this game. If Shea can even shoots marginally better from the field, and J-Dub, also, he didn't have a great game from the field, even though I think it was the second quarter he went off in the first game. Those two shoot even slightly better from the field. I think it's at the very least a close game, and at worst for Minnesota, it's going to be a blowout if those two show up, because I'm not worried about Chet. He's been pretty consistent all playoffs. My predictions for this game, I think Shea has his usual 30 points. I think J-Dub has a more efficient game. And I really don't know about Minnesota, and I don't know about Anthony Edwards. I want to say that Ant has a big game, but I don't know. He's just been so wishy-washy in terms of efficiency this playoffs. So, I don't know. We'll see. Who do I got for this game? I got Oklahoma City, rolling with the Thunder. That's about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all after the game. See ya.